it's easy to get stuck at the level of a specialist. You have to think in a different way to get to the level of an icon. And your fees should be tied to the value that you offer, not the hours you work. It takes a bit of courage to get around that idea. I can tell you now that I struggle with it, but it is important to struggle with it and to win. Experts sell by value. Number 2. I always have a Nigella Lawson slide on the screen. My wife and I watch her show religiously, but for vastly different reasons. Amateurs sell a product, experts model an ideal. We get so caught up in the serious side of running a business, the nuts and bolts of making a process happen, that we sometimes lose sight of the humanity on the other end. People don't come to us to buy a product. They come to us because they see themselves living a certain life. People like Nigella Lawson understand that. I watched an interview by Time magazine the other day in which they asked her, what's your inspiration? What gets you going? And in this candid moment, she explained that when she was about 16 years old, she had this romantic idea in her mind about an Italian goddess. And she says she doesn't know why, but that just appealed for her. That just worked for her. And that picture, that ideal, has driven everything she has done since then. Now, you can see it in everything she does. I mean, you can see it on the screen. She is not Italian. She's as English as they come. But the spirit of that thing is what she is trying to accomplish and what she's trying to teach others. How many people around the world know how to cook to a greater or lesser extent? So why someone like her? The answer is because she's not just teaching you how to cook food. She's showing you how to be someone. And that matters. Who does your target market want to be? What outcome do they envisage for themselves? What is their ideal life, and can you guide them to it? That's how you become the guru, or as Seth Godin would say, the leader of a tribe of believing followers. It's sharing that lifestyle, showing them how to be who they want to be. The acid test for this one is this. Instead of thinking of it in terms of tribes of followers that you're growing, think of it in terms of one ideal person. Who's your ideal customer? Think of an avatar for the person that you want to appeal to. Now here's the difficult test, and it's quite a cruel audit for us as aspiring experts. Could that person get everything that they need to become who they want to be from you alone? If not, there are more books to be written. If not, there are more YouTube channels to be opened. If not, there are more articles to be written, and so on and so forth. Take that ideal person, that avatar, who's trying to become what you're showing them how to be. Can they get it all from you? If not, you're leaving money on the table and thought leadership opportunities unanswered. Idea number 3. Amateurs conform to the tone, experts change everything. We step out of the business world for just a second here. And we're looking at the Iditarod sled race in Alaska. It's cold, it's cruel, it's run over something like 1,700 kilometers. And for decades, the philosophy behind this race used to be, the biggest cowboy wins. He who has the grandest testes will survive. Along comes Susan Butcher. And Susan Butcher was a conscientious objector to the way the dogs were treated during these sled races. And her argument went like this. She said, if you train these dogs the same way we train elite athletes, you could do better, and the dogs would be happier. And nobody took her seriously. She went off, she trained her dogs, she did things the way that she thought it should be done, and the men laughed at her until she creamed them and won the race. And then the next year, she won the race again. And then she won the race a third time, and then she won it a fourth time, and suddenly people weren't laughing anymore. And the whole thing had to change to the way she did it, because it was so much better. What's the tone? What's the norm? What are the minimum expected levels in your industry? What if you brought such unexpected excellence to an area that doesn't see it coming that you changed the game? Could you do that? What if you changed the tone and became an industry leader as a result? Could you out-care the competition? Idea number 4. Amateurs slap on photos, experts craft a narrative. These days, we're pretty much all on social media, or at the very least, we're using some kind of visual to make our ideas come alive for people. You can say the same thing in vastly different ways, and I think most businesses in South Africa, most aspiring brands and experts, don't really see how much you can do with this idea. Let me show you what I mean. You could say, I'm a magician, and it's true, and the photo shows it, and it doesn't look like the kind of thing that's going to earn a lot of money. Or you can say exactly the same words but change the visuals and say, I'm a magician. What are your visuals saying to the world? What tone, what level are they aimed at? You could say, we run a business. Or equally, you could say, we run a business. Whenever I do any sort of personal coaching with businesses, this is the first thing I look for, what I call mom and pop store betrayers. And I had such an interesting example of one a little while ago. A husband and wife team. They started their business in the kitchen of their home, and they were justly proud of this business. It grew into a multinational enterprise. They were seriously prospering. You go onto their website, the first thing you see was the two of them packing boxes in their kitchen. Now, like I say, they were justly proud of their humble origins, but that's not the tone you want to convey. We all know that Bill Gates started Microsoft in his garage. If you go onto the Microsoft website, that's not the first thing you're going to see. That kind of charming, human, humble origin story is fantastic for when they interview you on CNN. It is wrong for your visuals. You could say, we sell cars, or you could say, we sell cars. And it changes things. We want to aim for premium level perceptions. It changes your pricing, it changes your equity, it changes how the market perceives you. And to become the top level player, the expert, the icon, that's what we're after. Idea number 5, experts add a unique signature. What is so different about you that people turn to one another and say, that was really awesome? I came across this little meme on social media the other day. I have no idea what they sell. It could be timeshare, it could be holidays, it could be donuts, it could be yellow paint. I have no idea. But if you walk past that, wouldn't you have to know? There's something special going on there. There's a little bit of art, there's a bit of poetry. There is some attention to detail that says there's something special going on here. It's amazing what you can do with a little bit of thought if your heart is in it. What are your current touch points with your clients? What are your current touch points with your market? Are you losing opportunities there by not doing something memorable?